It is 6 p.m. on Monday, May 18th, 2020, and this is the Newfane Select Board meeting. We are meeting through Zoom tonight rather than in person, and I would just like to say a few things about how we're going to work with Zoom. And first of all, if somebody wants to speak, please raise your hand a little higher than normal so that I will be able to see your hand, and then I can call on you. If somebody else is speaking and you raise your hand, I will just ask you to wait until somebody else is finished speaking. So that's it. We have Juanetta Powling, Administrative Assistant. We have Melissa Brown, Newfane Treasurer. Angela Sanborn, Select Board Member. Shelley Huber, Select Board Member. Jay Wilson, Road Foreman, and I'm Marion Dowling, Select Board Member. So I'm going to call the meeting to order, and the first item on the agenda is additions or amendments to agenda. Yes?
I didn't see any executive session follow-up from our meeting on May 12th.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't we do that right now? Or we have, do you want to proceed, Shelley?
My understanding was that we were going to make a public announcement or a decision of the board.
Well, we're just reporting what the last item was that, I mean, we didn't vote on anything, but we agreed on something. So would you like to tell us, everybody, what we agreed on?
Don't recall. That's why I wanted to bring it up again.
Okay. Well, what we agreed on, there was nothing to vote on. What we agreed on was that we wanted to all move forward and to work well together. And that was an agreement that everybody said that was the right thing to do at that time. Angela, do you have anything to add to that?
I agree to that. I think I was overvoted.
Angela?
I agree on that. I would just like to re-stress on the point that we work well together and set personal biases beside, and that we conduct ourselves professionally and help move the town forward.
Right. That's what we said at the end. Okay. Anybody else? Shelley?
I wasn't in agreement with that, so I guess that's why it seemed a little odd that we weren't. I think we were advised by the town attorney to make some sort of statement.
That was the statement that we agreed on, to move forward and to work well together and to say what Angela said about.
Okay, again, I'm not in agreement with that. I wasn't in agreement.
You might have not agreed, but then it must have been everybody else agreed. I don't remember that. But there was no vote taken on anything. So then we have to say that the majority of the people agreed, as actually was recommended, that we want to move forward, working together well, being respectful with each other and being supportive. And then there were some people, one person who didn't agree, but that was the result. Okay?
Well, I'm not saying that I'm in disagreement of that statement. I'm in disagreement of making that statement out of the executive session.
Well, that was the last item that we talked about.
I mean, I've always, honored that. I don't think that's anything that we should. It's always something that we should be working on. Working. Absolutely. So we had an issue, and I'm not happy with the resolve of it.
Okay. Well, there was no vote taken. We didn't take any vote. So,
It was
Well,
a
I'll check in with the
3-1 with
attorney
one
about it.
abstaining.
I'm sorry, we're not a what?
It was a 3-1 with one abstaining to report to the public. Outcome of executive session.
Okay.
Well, I think that vote is, or that, is not correct.
I have Marion, Angela, and Chris voting to agree.
Okay,
You were not in agreement and
okay,
Mike abstained.
right.
Angela?
May I ask that when every board member is available that we readdress this? If that's
No.
what needs to be done? No? Okay.
No. You know, first of all, we have to remember that the executive session is a private session, so we're
Correct.
not going to get into what was discussed. And
Correct.
secondly, at the end of the executive session, we had an agreement. We were asked to agree. Some people agreed, and that was a majority of people. One person didn't agree, and one person abstained, and the meeting was over, and that's the report of the meeting.
Okay, so I will just continue to discuss it with the town attorney then.
Okay, you do that. That's a good idea. Okay, let's go on to approval of minutes, please. Is there anybody who make a motion to approve the minutes of March 27th, emergency meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Any second? I'll second it. Is there a discussion?
The discussion, this is on the March 27th minute.
Mm-hmm.
So what was amended?
Yeah, under new business, the town operating business as normal under conditions, I got 2 italics, and then the amendment was in italics. Discussion by select board to temporarily postpone holding any unnecessary gatherings or meetings by select board, DRB, Williamsville Hall Committee, or other organizations during the governor's executive order.
Okay, so that was something that was added. We had to talk about it at that previous meeting, but it was added in by whom?
It was taken from the remainder of the notes. I was asked to make it as simple as possible, but it was part of the notes that I had taken.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting the minutes of March 27th, please say aye.
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 And aye. So the ayes have it. Thank you. May 4th, 2020, regular meeting by Zoom. Does anybody make a motion? Angela?
Oh, I have discussion. I'd like to correct something.
Oh, okay. Well, do we have a motion to do that?
To make a motion to correct something in the report? I'll make that motion.
Okay. Second, and then we can have a discussion. Shelley, do you want to second it so we can have a discussion?
Sure.
Under additions and amendments to the agenda, it talked about having the administrative assistant to return to work, and I don't see where we actually did take a vote at that,
Oh, yeah.
either at that time or during her report that we voted that she didn't have to return to work until today, or
No, May 15th.
May 15th. Yes, Friday, right?
Right.
Yes.
So that vote is not in there.
That's the only thing I saw that needs to be changed. So we have to have a sentence in there about the vote.
Are you talking about under additions and amendments to the agenda? It said, take a vote to have administrative assistant return to work. Is that what you're reading, Angela?
Yes. At that meeting, we took a vote for when she needed to return to work.
Okay. And you're saying that's not in the report?
On the May 4th regular meeting by Zoom, in the administrative report, it says that I have returned to the computer and printer to the town office in order for select board to continue having meetings and to comply with open meeting laws. I have been working from the office since then.
Well, what she's stating is that we did take a vote.
I know, but we did take a vote on that.
That's not noted in the vote. Who voted for what?
I believe I made the motion that she return to work on the 15th.
Renetta, do you have those notes?
I don't have it right in front of me, but I can find the notebook. I will make the correction.
Thank you.
Okay, so right now, we can't vote on accepting the minutes until that's corrected. This is
Amended.
amended, I'm sorry.
So I make a motion that we table the May 4th minutes till the next meeting so that can be corrected.
I second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of amending those minutes until, and approving them until the next meeting on June 1st, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and there are no nays. So that's amended. Okay, Winetta, you have that?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay. Okay, so next item on the agenda is road foreman's and road commissioner's report.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I forgot to say something.
Sure.
I forgot in the beginning to mention that Mike Fitzpatrick and Christopher Williams are absent tonight, and therefore we only have 3 people on the agenda. And so the road commissioner is not here to add anything on. Okay, JM, go ahead. Thank
Can
you.
you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. As I mentioned at the last meeting, we have the pre-bid meeting for Monroe Bridge on May 26th at 9. We started replacing culverts in addition to the normal grading and graveling. And the guardrail work was set to begin today. They had a slight delay because one of their workers had a fever. So they're hoping for tomorrow, but I don't know yet whether they'll be down tomorrow or not. Car tree service is going to be setting a crane up on the top of Newfane Hill to remove a tree. It's scheduled for May 28th. That section of road isn't, it's closed all winter anyways, so it's not a road people have to use, so it shouldn't be a problem.
So how far up on the Newfane Hill is that?
The very top, the last house on this side of the hill.
Just past the cemetery.
Yep.
Okay.
The access permit for Browns Road has been reviewed and that can be approved. There was no problems with that. And I received 2 prices for crack sealing the pavement to extend the life of the pavement until we can resurface. The first was from NICOM at $4,250 a day, and they estimate they can cover 2 miles of road per day. The other was from Gorman Brothers at $14,250 to $19,950 per day. They estimate 3 to 4.5 miles a day. Both included traffic control in the prices. I would recommend NICOM for up to 3 days of sealing. We're going to start at the Dover line and comes back towards South Newfane, since that's the last section that we'll be paving. We've got a couple more years of paving kind of on this side before we get over there again. So that should help to keep it from from getting worse.
So, Jay,
Yes.
how many miles of road are we doing this?
Paving, I mean, excuse me, sealing?
Sealing, yeah.
Well, there's pieces of, there's Dover Road down to South Newfane. There's a little stretch of Auger Hole Road. And the pavement from, I believe it was 3 years ago on Depot has a crack in it that we're going to try to seal, because that'll be another probably 8+ years before we can get to that again. So altogether, you're probably looking at for 6, I'm guessing close to 6 miles, 5 point something miles. And the amount of miles they can do all depends on how severe the cracking is. So there'll be sections they can cover fairly fast, and there's other sections that are going to take a lot longer. So they both do a price per day.
Yeah.
And the variance on Gorman Brothers is they keep track of how many gallons of material they put out, and that's how they charge. Whereas the other one just has a set figure per day that it covers everything.
Have you worked with either of these?
Both of them do good work. I checked on both of them. There's a number of companies that do it, and it doesn't stay in very well. Both of these come highly recommended, and the one we've used in the past was Nikon.
So for NICOM, you're basing it on a per day, and they estimate they can cover 2 miles of road per day.
Yes.
So how much is that total amount compared to the other one?
That would be, well, if you do comparing it to 2 miles,
624.
they're about 60% of the cost of Gorman Brothers.
There's 60% less?
60% of the cost, so 40% less.
40% less, okay. Okay. So they'll do I saw you had a traffic control and all that.
They do everything. Yep. They blow out the cracks with high pressure, and they heat them as they go. And then they put it's the same thing they did on Route 30 last fall or summer.
Yeah. And do you have, I'm sure you keep track of it, and you have a ledger or something about which roads, just, so that we have a idea,
For paving, you mean?
No, for any kind of road work, when you're doing the sealing, you got like a sheet that says we've done this X amount of these roads, and these are the roads that we have to do next.
Right. We try to do that with paving. We've been working on a plan, and it gets redone almost every year because some roads, the pavement lasts better than others.
Yeah.
So you can say 5 years from now, we're going to do this road, but that changes.
Yeah.
So we had the states working with us to try to come up with a good plan of, if we can do a mile per year, this is how we make it. And then every few years we get a pavement grant. So we cover a bunch more and catch up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I think if we don't get it this year, the next year we'll be eligible for a paving grant.
Okay.
So
pretty much.
When do you want to do this?
they thought they could do it during the month of June.
Mm-hmm. And by when do you have to?
Sorry. I'm hoping to get it done before they put the yellow stripe. The state redoes our yellow lines every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to get it sealed before they come around and paint the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never know when they're coming to do that. It's just random and they show up. So.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Do we need to vote and make a motion on accepting one of these bids right now, or?
Sure, if you'd like to do that, that'd be fine.
I'll make a motion to use NICOM for the ceiling.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor of hiring NICOM, please say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, so
Good.
the ayes have.
Thank you.
And then you have one more item, Jay, right?
Actually, I have a couple more because there was some stuff that happened since I did the report Friday.
Oh, okay.
So I have a meeting with Northeast Municipal scheduled for Wednesday to go over the plan for the hazmat and safety procedures for the garage. They finally felt comfortable coming out, so we're gonna figure out how to meet, you know, across the garage or however, outdoors, something.
It's just an annual inspection.
No, this is the company that was gonna come up with a plan for us as to how to implement all this and train everybody. We have to have, everybody has to be trained in hazmat because we have stuff we use around here that's, and so they're gonna come up with a plan and then I'll bring
Okay.
that back with a price for you guys.
Okay, and you'll probably let us know if there's any grants available.
Yep. And then, so we had that little storm Friday night. We had some trees down, a little bit of washing, but pretty much we came out of it good. We were very fortunate.
It was,
Yes, we were.
And then the stone wall repair on Cemetery Hill is nearing completion. It's coming out really good. And I figured maybe every couple of years we should look at if another section is bulging out or whatever, and maybe catch it before it's
yeah,
down like it did this time.
yeah.
But he's done nice work. So if you get a chance this week, take a ride up there.
Mhm.
And the sidewalk repair, the cracks in the sidewalk were done last week. So that's all done.
Cracks in the sidewalk.
That was one of the things that the insurance company was after.
Okay.
And that's it.
Well, thank you so much. And
Sure.
thank you for coming out on that Friday.
Marion?
Yes?
I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the cracks in the sidewalk, aren't those sidewalks part of the village?
No, this is our walkway into the office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not those. That's the village part. No, it's just our walkway to I guess the insurance company was worried about somebody tripping on the cracks.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
so the only other thing you have to do is approve the access permit for George and Cena Friend on Bruce Brook Road.
All right.
Browns Road.
What's happening there?
They're putting a house in that field. So their access, I think, was, I don't have the papers in front of me. I dropped them back at the office, but I believe it was 60 or 70 feet in from Route 30. They're going to put a driveway into the field
Oh,
where their barway is.
Mhm.
I was wondering what's going on there.
I'll make a motion to grant the access permit for Browns Road for them.
Is there a
I'll second
second? Second. Okay, Shelley, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, the ayes have it and they may proceed. Thank you, Jay, for all the
Thanks.
work you have been doing, and thank Chris also.
May I also make a motion to approve the road foreman's report?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Further discussion? No. All those in favor of accepting the road foreman's report, please say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, thanks, Jay. Great.
I just have a
Yeah.
question. I just want to, everyone's well and good on the road crew? Yeah.
Good,
You have to unmute to do that.
Yes.
Everybody's fine.
Good.
that's great, good to know. Okay, next item on the agenda is treasurer's report. And that's Melissa. And you're on, Melissa. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks for being here.
so last week I had mentioned the 5 CDs that are with Brattleboro Savings and Loan. I received the interest for the CDs. They totaled $2,034.31 for all of them. They've been allocated accordingly. I've also completed the rollover for the new CDs for the 91 days. Next, we have a town-owned property. Last year, there was a tax sale held on February 28th, 2019. The property was bid on by the town and is now town-owned as of March 3rd, 2020.
Can I ask what property?
The owner of the property was unable to redeem the property. What's that?
No, I'm asking Shelley, can you wait till she finishes her report and then you can make
Okay.
time for questions? Go ahead, Melissa.
All right. So the owner of the property was unable to redeem the property within the 1-year time frame from the actual tax sale date. The property is located on Glebe Road in Williamsville. This is not actually the first time that the property has gone into tax sale, but usually the mother pays for the taxes so the owner doesn't lose it. I've had a couple of calls from people asking when this property will be going up for sale by the town because they are interested in buying it. And I have recently had a call from the previous owner's mother, and she's interested in buying the property back for her son. I did speak with Bob Fisher in regards to the matter briefly. He said that we have 3 options as to what we can do with this. If the mother wants, she can write a letter to the select board letting them know that she's willing to bring the property current. The board would then have to decide whether they want to sell it to her. If they decide to sell it to her, they would have to advertise it in the newspapers in case anybody wanted to challenge it. The second option is we can advertise and set a date to auction the property off. Third option is we can advertise and set a date to bid the property off by like a silent auction where everyone would send in sealed bids. So with all the options, I would calculate what is owed currently on the property along with what went into tax sales so we can recoup all the taxes and the attorney fees. If you auction the property, the starting bid would be for what is owed, which is currently $3,543.71. Anything above that goes back to the previous owner. If we do decide to do any kind of auction or sealed bid, I would like to add in a couple other properties. These 2 properties were also in tax sale and neither owners redeemed them because they both passed away and neither families are interested in the properties. You want me to keep going or you want to?
Yeah, no, keep going and then we can talk about things.
Okay. Next I have FEMA property. I have received a phone call from a gentleman who is interested in leasing property on the Dover Road. This property is in the flood zone and was part of the buyback program during Tropical Storm Irene. I have asked him to also write to the select board with a proposal as to what he is looking to do. He stated that he is an energy healer and wants the property to have a quiet place to sit. He also mentioned that he wants to put up a teepee or a tent there. I did also speak briefly with Bob Fisher in regards to this, and he advised me to look in the land records to see what stipulations there may be on these properties. I did search it out, and I do have some deeds that I can go over with you guys. Other than that, everything else is the same. Doing the payroll, the accounts payable, taxes, and I'll complete the monthly reporting soon. I do have the special appropriations though that I've done some calculating on, and let's see. Special appropriations that were approved at the town meeting are $2,000 difference from what I'm calculating, and we're going to be short if we pay everything for the special appropriations. I did call Garrett Baxter today at VLCT, and he advised me just to pay it if the board wishes to, and we'll just go over budget.
You have a spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you want to go over that spreadsheet or...
No, but just, I mean, I don't know if people had a chance to read it before the meeting, but the bottom line is you're saying that we are $2,000 short. And didn't we vote on this in the past now that we were going to pay that $2,000 so that we could keep our word to the vote that was taken at town meeting?
No, I think you guys tabled it.
What, Shelley? Shelley?
This hasn't been handled. It hasn't been
No, I
decided
believe
on.
it was tabled at a previous meeting to discuss it another time.
Okay.
So I'd like to go back to the start of her report so we can go through the report.
Okay. What part do you want to talk about?
So back on the town-owned property, What is the address on that property? Is it just Glebe Road?
No, I do have the exact address. I just don't know if I should put it out there, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's actually 16 Cramp Lane, which is off from Glebe Road. It's kind of a private road.
Okay. So I think we need to think about, make a vote, take a vote on how we're going to handle this. As far as an auction.
Well, there's, looks like we have a few options, right?
Yeah.
Melissa, one is that the mother would want to pay the back taxes.
Yep.
But they would sell it to her for the back taxes, correct?
They'd sell it to her for the back taxes that were in tax sale, the attorney fees, and then whatever anything is owed the 2 years after that. So he
So is
actually
that-
owes 5 years now.
So how much is that? Is that 3,000?
Yep. Yep.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to make a decision as to how we're going to handle it as far as auction, you know, or I think by rights, we have to do it, you know, legally in an auction. It hasn't been paid. It continues to be unpaid. And the mother would have the option of, you know, being in that auction. if
She
she
could,
wants.
yep.
You said that she had paid the taxes before. This has happened before. How many times did that happen?
I've seen 2 other times in the records.
Mhm. Does she have the right of first refusal in this?
No, she's lost everything. Everything's town owned now.
Okay.
It's kind of up to you guys how you want to handle it.
So it's owned by the town now.
Yep.
It's not a personal property.
Right.
Right, it was owned by somebody in the town, yep.
Right. So I think the fair thing to do is to put it up for auction,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, especially
That's my
whereas there's other people that are calling about it and have been calling and waiting for this property.
Mhm.
So I make a motion that we set a date to auction the property off.
I'll second
I
it.
don't know if we okay.
I
That's a
would like
live
to add-
auction.
And I would like to add to the motion, if it's okay to combine this, that Melissa said, if we do put this on auction, she would have 2 other properties to put on auction also at the same time.
I did find out about another one today, so this morning or this afternoon. So can we make that 3?
Can you give us the addresses on those?
One of them's on Depot Hill Road. And the other one is out on South Wardsboro Road.
So Melissa, would you be doing a tax sale the way we've done it in the past where,
They were already tax sale, they were already town owned.
so I mean, I'm sorry, who would be doing the auction?
Bob Fisher would have to be in charge of it.
Okay. And it would be held at town hall?
No, you can either do a town hall auction or you can do it kind of like you do the bids for Jay's stuff. Have a sealed envelope.
Oh,
You kind of set that base amount that you need or want, and then they'll just bid above it or that amount, whatever they want.
okay.
I mean, I guess Ellie, the other one, the first one I was talking about, the mother could bid like $50,000 and just pay off that $3,500 to win the auction. And then anything above that would actually go to her son.
Mhm.
So you got the Glebe Road, Camp Road or something, Depot Road, South Wardsboro, and where else?
The other one's up on Hunter Brook Road. And I'm gonna have to talk to Bob about some of this stuff because the first one that we talked about, the guy is still living there and has all this stuff there. So find out who's gonna be responsible for removing him, removing the property. I don't know who's gonna be in charge of that. If the new owners will have to take on that responsibility of getting him out of there or what the deal is.
Well, we're the owners right now. We don't sell a property with people on it.
Yeah, I know. Some of them did state, though, the ones that we're calling are willing to take on that issue.
And keep them as a
Well,
tenant.
I think we have to,
I was saying, would they keep them on as a tenant?
No.
They would purchase it with the person in it and then deal with it by themselves.
Yep.
well, I think we need to talk to Bob Fisher, how that is handled.
I think so, too.
Yeah. So, is anybody wanting to make a motion to plan on an auction for all of these properties at the same time, using Bob Fisher as the person?
I will amend my original motion and include that on there for all of the properties.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? So Melissa, I just want to make clear, you would be calling Bob Fisher and setting this all up. Okay,
Yep. So you want me to set up when to do the auction?
sure. I mean, you can work it
And
out
you want
with Bob then, right? Bob is the one who would be doing the auction.
Yeah.
Is that normally something you do, or would they, are mid, one now to do this?
Honestly, I don't know. There's quite a few town-owned properties, and I don't know if you guys have ever really sold them or not.
So I would think the administrative assistant should handle the, and then work with you to coordinate it.
I can do the postings and the legal notices, but I believe in the past, it was the delinquent tax collector that actually operated and worked the,
Now, it's not really delinquent anymore because it's now town-owned.
Well, that
Right.
it would be a great question to find out the answer to and
Yeah,
then
I
move forward.
think the first thing you would do is talk to Bob Fisher and he can guide you. And then we
Yeah.
can decide who's going to.
It might be a little easier for me because I do have all the figures and I'm going to have to do all the calculating anyways than having one head to do it.
Okay,
Well, I mean, work with her as far as making the postings and all that.
Making the what?
Having the postings,
Oh,
the
yeah.
announcement.
Do you guys want a public auction or do you want the sealed bids?
I think, why don't you talk to Bob first? And then,
You said it was up to you guys.
oh, okay. Well,
Yes. So I make a motion that we have a public bid, a public auction.
wait, we haven't finished. Don't we have a motion on the table already?
Yeah, we have to vote on the original motion.
Right, we have to vote on the, would you like to repeat?
Want to
the-
say it again?
Repeat the motion.
Yes,
I made a motion that we do the auction on all of the properties, and Melissa was going to talk to Bob Fisher.
exactly. Okay. And you second that, Shelley. So now we're going to vote. All those in favor of that motion, please say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, so the ayes have it with that. And now the second part is that Melissa will contact Bob Fisher. No, what are you saying no?
I'm just saying that I think we need to make a second motion that it would be, the sale would be done by a public auction. I make
Can
a
you
motion.
do public auction right now?
I don't think so.
That's why I'm wondering if it should be sealed bids, just because you can't get together with everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah. Yeah, I think I would go with sealed bids if we vote.
Yeah.
So does anybody
Oh.
make a motion? Shelley, you want to make a motion on that, please?
I make a motion that we do a sealed bid auction
I'll second
for
it.
the tax sale
Good.
for the 4 properties.
Yes, 4 properties.
Okay, so Angela
I'll second that.
seconded. Any further discussion about that? So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay. So though we're going to put the 4 properties up for auction at the same time, and it will be done by sealed bid. And Melissa will contact Bob Fisher for further information and advice. So you'll get back to us, Melissa, right?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, thank you. So next part of Melissa's report. Shelley, you wanted to talk about something?
No, I have a question.
Oh, Angela?
Yes. Where on Dover Road is this, are we looking at for this next part?
For FEMA? For FEMA?
Yeah.
Oh, for the FEMA?
Yes.
You know where the red barn house is? That corner right there? Or you know where Sharon Newell's is? Probably not.
Yes. Yes, I know where Sharon's is.
Right across there. Shelley, if you're going through that covered bridge from Lansville to South Newfane,
Yeah.
you keep going up Dover Road and there's a house that looks like a barn.
Yes.
It used to be a barn.
Yeah.
Okay, it's right up after that. You go around that corner and there's 2 houses and then there's that open land right there on the right-hand side next to the brook.
Oh, well, wasn't that where the trailer had?
Yeah, one
Okay.
trailer and 1 house was there.
Okay. So we own that, correct?
Yes, that was part of the buyback program through the state after the flood.
So I'm sure that has a lot of restrictions on it. Has
Well,
Bob looked at it?
Did what?
Has Bob Fisher looked at it?
No, I didn't have Bob look at it. He told me to actually go into the deeds and look up to see what the restrictions were. I tried to email these to you guys today, but they wouldn't scan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I actually did find compatible use. The property shall be dedicated and maintained in perpetuity as open space for conservation of natural floodplain functions. Such uses may include parks for outdoor recreation, activities, wetland management, nature reserves, cultivating, grazing, and camping, except where adequate warning time is not available to allow evacuation.
How much land is there?
One of the properties is a half an acre. Actually, they're both a half an acre.
There's 2 properties there?
Yeah, there's 2 properties, 246 Dover Road and 236 Dover Road.
246 and 236?
Yep. Well, then I found also in part of the PTTR in the transfer section, it said the grantee may convey a property interest only to a public entity or a qualified conservation organization. However, the grantee may convey an easement or lease to a private individual or entity for purpose compatible with the uses described in paragraph A, which is what I just read you.
Yep. I know how I think about it.
What do you think?
Well, I think that it should remain as a public entity, and my understanding at one point or another there was some discussion about making a community park there and keeping it as a public area.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it would be to have a teepee or a tent. Maybe put a picnic table as a place to sit or something.
Right.
You
I
can
would
put like
not
a
lease
public
it.
restroom or something in there too, if you wanted to.
Yeah. I would call it at like a pocket park. And you know, look at some financing, you know, to support doing a bathroom or something, you know, for that, for the community out in, you know, that area.
Mhm.
And other, you know, tourism, stop along the road, enjoy Newfane.
Is this something we can vote on now?
What about parking? Is there like an area for parking when people stop right there? That's another concern though, because that's another zippy part of the road where people
Right.
just tend to speed like crazy. So
Yeah.
I'd be concerned myself with having it as an open public place for someone just because people don't follow the traffic
I would
laws.
put, yeah, but I would put in the pocket park, you would want parking, off-road parking. So with, say, bathroom or whatever, it would be designed out to accommodate that, not parking alongside the road. And then there's people that live right there too. So, I mean, they all each have driveways. It's not going to be, I don't, it's 0.5 acres. So it's, you know, combined, it's going to be an acre.
Right, but people's personal driveways shouldn't be brought into the, how do I say this? That has nothing to do with the other side of the road pocket park. You'd have to have adequate parking for that specific spot.
That would have to be all studied.
Right.
Yeah, I think it would be important to go and look at this in person and see how it's configured and
Well, I'm not
might be.
I'm not a specialist on pocket parks, but you know, a land designer would have to figure that out. But I'm not into having that leased out to a private person. So
Maybe I can steer him out to that, sorry.
Go ahead.
That South Wardsboro Road has like 5 acres and it won't park. Maybe I can suggest if he's interested in something like that.
Well,
purchasing it if we sell it. Like put his TP out there.
Find it on his own, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't put a lot of effort into trying to find him a land in Newfane. You can, you know, find that out. But what I think right now we just need to make a decision on this property, and I, you know, make a motion that we do not, you know, this guy's come to the board, and I make a motion that we keep it as a public property.
I'll second that. I'll second that it remains as public entity.
So he's supposed to send a letter to Juanetta, care of the select board. So I'll just you want her to respond then?
Well, let's vote on it first. If any further discussion, or we can vote on the motion to keep it as public land.
Vote.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. So vote is to keep it as public land.
Yeah.
I think it would be appropriate for Juanetta to receive the letter and then respond with the board's decision that we voted on it this day.
Right.
Okay, Juanetta?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the last item was special appropriations. Any discussion?
I would say we pay it because it was voted on by the townspeople at town meeting and we have to do it, and we'll, I guess, figure it out. And
well, that's what I meant before when I said we voted on that before we discussed it. So I agree. Well, it was voted on town meeting that we pay. And
as an added note, in our, I just wanted to bring, in addition, I just got this out of my box. It's been there, I don't know how long, but in our town of Newfane 2021 expenses, we had a decrease in the Wyndham Regional, or the waste, what is it, Wyndham
Wyndham Solid Waste Management?
Management District.
Waste Management. So there's a savings of 504 that was not included in the original budget, so, or savings.
I can't pull from one
So-
line item to the other, though.
Oh, okay. So how do we find
That's a
money in
good
the
idea.
budget?
It's gonna be one of those things, it's gonna just go over budget, and that's gonna be the end of it. You know, other things will come under budget, even though we're not taking it out of the line item. You'll still have the money in there to hopefully pay for it, which I don't foresee a problem in paying that $2,000 anyways.
Well, we have to, so.
So yeah,
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 I guess, so at that time, if we go over budget and the bill comes through or something, then we just approve it, correct? We make a motion on it if it's over budget?
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's gonna be just over budget by $2,000 for that whole section. The only other way to do it
So we-
is appropriate each one to come up with that $2,000 difference. But whereas the town voters voted to restore everything back to last year,
yeah. I
the
think it's
VLCT
very
attorney,
important. We have to honor that vote from the
the
No, I'm not- I'm
VLCT
not
attorney advised that we do it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not saying that I voted for it. I just was asking where we get the money, that's all. I'm just,
no, I know. So we need to vote on it though and make a motion to vote on this so we can get it handled.
I make a motion that
I
we
think
pay.
it-
I mean, the townsfolk already did it. We're just discussing what happened and what's going on. So
Okay, we don't
Yeah.
have to make a motion, right?
I don't think so.
No.
It's already
No.
been done.
Okay. So that's it. Melissa,
I will make a motion to approve the Town of Newfane Treasurer's report, though.
yes, absolutely. Is there a second?
I'll second,
Okay. Any
I'll
further
second it.
discussion? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. So that passes. And Melissa, I have to say that it's really great when you come to our meetings because you help us understand things sometimes, which at least I can speak for myself. Sometimes I don't understand everything you're doing, and it is really great to have you here in person so that things get clearer, and you're doing an excellent job. And
Thank
so
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you do an
Okay.
excellent job.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, administrative assistance report is next.
I've completed 5 highway overweight application permits and mailed them out to the respective businesses. Updated insurance certificates have been coming in to be added to the files. I have answered 4 different animal control calls since last week. With owner's approval, I chose to keep 1 dog overnight at my house. The owner had been transported to Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center from Grace Cottage. They were reunited on Friday night. Wyndham County Humane Society wanted a checkup on elderly couple that might need assistance with caring for animals in a rabbit hutch or cage. That was done and nothing was needed. A missing small dog on Baker Brook Road is still missing. A golden retriever has been reported lost and came home on her own. There has been a complaint of somebody picking up firewood off of property along the new road. A phone call was made to the individual to avoid sending the Vermont State Troopers out. I received a call from American Legion. They will not be holding Memorial Day celebrations on the Newfane Common due to their elderly ages and current COVID-19 conditions. The fax machine in the town clerk's office is old. I have not been able to find a replacement ink cartridge. We moved an additional machine that was in the office and that one is not receiving or sending fax based on the tests we made. Would like to order a new machine from Staples. In addition to all of my other duties, I've been cleaning the town hall while our building is still closed to the public. Sierra has not been in since the executive order was placed.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And she wouldn't even accept help. She wanted to do it all by herself. And you do a great job, Vanessa. Thanks. Do we have to vote on getting a fax machine, or do we have the budget for it? I'll be with you in a minute, Angela.
Okay, thank you.
It would be under office appropriations, wouldn't it, Melissa?
Now I'd go under small office equipment.
Okay.
And is there a budget to get a new replacement machine?
I'd have to look at the budget.
Okay.
Shelley, I think you might, oh, you probably don't have it in front of you.
Well, Angela, next. Wait, Shelley, wait 1 minute. Angela had her hand up first.
I just wanted to know, Juanetta, if you and possibly Carol had looked at them and found prices.
I did look at the ones at Staples, and they range from the low 100s to over 400.
Okay.
It would not need to be an expensive one, just to use several times a year.
Okay.
Shelley? Shelley?
Are people still using fax machines?
Oh, yes.
For what, legal stuff? Real legal stuff?
If there's a document that needs to be signed or added to something, it's sometimes easier to send it via fax.
Yeah. So you said Carol could look up prices, or she did, or you're doing that, Juanetta?
I was doing it.
Okay. So
Yeah, I would just get a cheap,
what, Shelley?
I said I would just get a cheap one. I do a lot of business, signing back and forth. We do it all by email, but how often do you fax?
Not every month, but it could be a few times next month.
But it would be for everybody in the office, not just you, right?
Correct. In the town clerk's office.
Well, it's probably best if you, perhaps you and Carol can look up different machines, what the different machines offer, the different prices, and then just decide which one would work the best for all of you joined together, and then check with Melissa on the budget for it. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
We don't have to vote on this.
Now, if we got money in it, only if we don't have money, I guess, then Melissa will tell us where we can get it.
Yeah, I'll find a spot for it.
Okay, can we have a motion to accept the administrative assistant's report, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay,
I would like to
So-
add one thing real quick. I would like to thank Juanetta for taking the animal control officer calls. That is above and beyond your duties, and I appreciate that so much.
Well, there's vacancies still open. If anybody's available, I will give them your numbers.
absolutely. Well, thank you. And we have to keep,
Yeah, we're still
what, Shelley?
we're still looking for an animal control officer.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, let's vote on accepting, when I just put, think we all said aye. And that's done.
Aye. Yes.
Thank you.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Thank you, Juanetta, for all the work you're doing and going beyond the call of duty. Definitely. Okay, we are up to unscheduled members of the public, and there are
Oh,
none.
I have one question.
Yes.
What are the hours for what are your hours? What's happening as far as for the public, they have to make an appointment to come in still?
Yes. Yes.
And what are the hours of operation?
I went back to the Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and then whatever balance is on Friday, I would leave half hour or half day. I'm the only one in the office on Friday.
I'm sorry, blinked out. What did you say?
She said that she's there from Monday to Thursday from 9 to 5.
8 to 5.
Yes, I got that.
And a half a day on Friday. And at that time on Friday, she's the only one in the building.
Okay. So by appointment only.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we don't have any unscheduled members of the public, so we will go to the next item, which is old business. The first one is about an appointment and reappointment of Town Forest Fire Warden. And Winetta, would you like to talk about that, please?
We received a request from the Department of Forest, Parks and Recreation asking to have a reappointment before June 30th of our current fire warden. It's a 5-year appointment, and I contacted Todd Lawley to see if he was still willing to serve in this capacity, and he agreed. So I emailed him the form, he signed it, accepting the appointment, and all it needs is for the select board to, the select board to approve the appointment.
I make a motion to
Okay.
approve the appointment.
I second that.
I'll second it.
Oh, okay. I just have one question, Winetta.
Yes.
Given that we're all over the place, how do you want to do this? Do people come to the town office and sign this for you, that we can get to Todd?
I already have the
Fine.
original here, and if at some point you drop in, that would be fine. We just need a majority.
Okay,
I will do it tonight when I come over for pay orders. I'll sign mine.
okay. And I can sign it. And Shelley, if you come over,
Is Mike going to be there?
No, I'm sorry. He had other commitments at work.
Okay, so are you two signing the pay orders tonight then? I'm sorry.
well,
You and
and
Marion?
I said I would volunteer unless you want to do it.
No, it's fine.
Okay, I'm going to do it with Angela then. I'll go over to the office. And then I can sign this.
Okay.
Angela can sign it.
Just sign it. And do it. And then you need one more.
Yeah. If you want to come over.
I probably can run over.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll get this signed tonight. Is that good? Winetta? Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So where are we? We don't, do we have to vote on that appointment, Winetta?
I made a motion. Shelley seconded it. Now we need to vote, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, so the ayes have it, and Todd Lawley will continue being the town forest fire warden, and we thank you, Todd. You're always great, and you work so hard, and thank you for doing that. Okay, VLCT procedures for COVID-19 safety and health work plans. And Winetta, I'm going to pass that on to you again.
It was suggested that I go on to VLCT and see what safety and health templates they had. What I came up with is what you have in front of you, and all I did was fill in the blanks. I did put administrative assistant for the town office and road foreman being responsible for following these procedures at the different locations.
That's good. That makes sense because you're at the town office Monday through Friday and Jay is at the town garage, so you guys can manage the buildings to make sure everything's good. I
Right.
like that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
And then you guys have all, I know the town crew has taken the testing, right, Jay?
Yes, we have.
Yes. So, and then Juanetta, did you take one too? Did you do it too?
In the town office, except for Frank and Dennis have completed the testing to return to work.
They have certificates.
Yep,
Juanetta.
in the employee file.
Yeah.
I did one for the town of
And then-
Newfane.
And then Melissa, did you do one?
I did one. Yep.
Everyone's covered.
Juanetta, I'm just asking logistically, this also has to be signed. So if you have the copy for the forest warden and this at your desk tonight, we can sign both of them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there a
So
motion
I'm
to
definitely
accept-
gonna work.
I'm sorry, is there a motion to accept the town of Newfane COVID-19 safety and health work plan?
I'll make that motion to accept the town of Newfane COVID safety and health work plan.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, that passes. Thank you. Thank you, Juanetta.
Welcome.
Okay, now we're up to correspondence, and we have a few pieces of correspondence.
Marion,
No,
you skipped new business.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. You can tell. Okay, new business. I forgot about that. The State of Vermont Troopers contract expires on June 30th. And so, whenever you have the paperwork for that, we can go. No, I know why you know what, Juanetta, I didn't get that in my package. That's why I skipped over it.
Yeah. You don't have it.
It's on the agenda to be discussed whether or not you want to make an appointment to,
Oh, we don't have the paperwork right now.
right.
I'm sorry. Okay.
You want an invitation to increase the hours? Or do you want to have them come to the office to discuss the additional funds and where the areas of need are?
I do remember that you and I were discussing that this week, and we were thinking perhaps we should postpone this for discussion tonight and put it on the next week's agenda for June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a new contract yet from the state police?
No.
Okay. When are we expected to get a copy of that?
The current one expires June 30th, so I would expect it by the end of the month.
I'd like to see that too before we make any decisions.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, I think we had also talked about considering splitting those hours with the Wyndham Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, we would have to talk to them and see. Right now, the Sheriff's
So,
Department is paid by the Village of Newfane, the incorporated Village of Newfane, just to do Newfane. Yes.
but in order for us to make a decision, we need to get it in motion. Like, we should probably contact them and invite them. What's our next meeting date?
June 1st.
So I would invite the Wyndham Sheriffs to our next meeting to discuss about using them
Using them in
throughout the town.
addition or instead of?
In addition, because to see if they would work in that manner.
Well, we'd have to know if we have budget for both organizations. Melissa?
Shelley, didn't we at the budget meeting do like $10,000 for Vermont State Police and another couple for Wyndham maybe? We're rolling just extra hours for Vermont State Police.
I thought it was all
Yeah,
extra.
Was it all
Sorry.
extra?
Sorry.
It was an additional $2,000 that you increased the
Line item?
right, but it didn't specifically designate where. I remember when Sheriff Anderson after his first appointment, he came in and said it would have to be a agreed upon sharing of that, and you would have to discuss it with the State Troopers Association as well.
Right.
I'd like to invite
So,
them.
Yes. I think we should hear from both of them and see how they could work together.
So invite both to the next meeting?
Yes, and I would also let them know that we're inviting both of them, and we would like to look at a shared plan, and if they could put their heads together on, you know, looking at how that could happen.
And what, so we would need a trooper contract, and we would need what the sheriff's department would want to discuss for a contract too, because we'd have to put it together to
Right.
equal each other.
Yes. But I would give them heads up that we're looking at doing that, because sharing, you know, using both of their services.
So I'm assuming that we would have to send them an invite via Zoom unless you're going to meet in person at the town office.
Appointing for a lot of people when they cannot get any, you know, they can't speak to a problem with the Wyndham Sheriff. Wyndham Sheriff is right here in our backyard, right in our front yard, basically. And I think we should take advantage of them and, you know, look at their services. They're a contract service for people that don't know.
But I believe they mainly do speed traffic control.
Yeah, see, the thing, Shelley, is in the past, the sheriffs didn't do things like patrol the roads outside the village.
That's what
No,
I'm asking is-
they do, but they don't do the major investigations.
Right.
Right. So
They
if
were,
there's
they were limited
any,
things that they did.
Marion, if there's any real concern, the troopers are called. So I'm saying, and I think a lot of people would be interested in having the Wyndham Sheriff's Department handle the concerns for the town. And then if there's a need for the troopers to be called in, you know, we just contract them for speed control. So they're also there just by the state mandate that if there's something larger than a speed control issue, they're called. Any family disputes or anything large, you know, anything, they're there. So we don't necessarily have to contract with them for traffic control. I'd like to see the Wyndham Sheriff, and I believe there's other people on the board that would like, who are not here, that would like to be able to contract with the Sheriff's Department.
So I think we should table this for our next meeting with an invite to both agencies to have a discussion with them about what they do and don't do and what their contracts would be for.
Right, and we would have, we're inviting them to the meeting. We have to ask them in advance to please write a letter saying exactly what Angela just said. We need to know what they are able and willing to do, and there are things that they're not willing to do, each party.
Right.
To have that.
So that's what we talked, that's how we started this conversation, and for the next meeting on June 1st, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, well, Nana will do that for us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, under new business, there's also town office building permit process. And the committee consists of Winetta, Mike, and Melissa. And the first thing that they did, I think, was to meet with David Cotton to discuss hiring David to do plans, and he also would be the one to get all the permits. And I think, Winetta, would you like to talk about that for a minute, please?
I had an email from David. In order for us to obtain his services for not only the building permit and the processing of getting all of the permits, we do need to have a $15,000 retainer.
We have a purchasing process, and I think we need to follow that. It has to go out to bid. So I make a motion that we put it out to bid.
I second that because that's correct according to the purchasing policy.
Exactly. Anything I think over $3,000, it goes out to bid.
I would like to make sure, though, that when we follow the purchasing policy, that it's not just for the lowest bid. It also has to be the ability of the person's record, and
That's all stated. That's all stated in the purchasing policy.
yes, I know. But sometimes with the bids, people are just concerned with, well, that person has made the lowest bid and they should get that, and it's forgotten, or
Well,
there are other qualifications that we need to look at.
Well,
I'm just reminding everybody.
yeah, we'll have our purchasing policy procedures out.
Yeah, good. Okay. So you made a motion and you second. So is there any further discussion?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Who is going to put the bid together to for this building project?
The building committee, I would assume. Is that correct? Yes.
Okay.
So Vanetta, Mike, and Melissa.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. So the ayes have it, and Vanetta and Melissa and Mike, if you could please make a scheduled meeting for the three of you to discuss this, that would be great, and let the board know that when you're going to do that, please.
Hey.
Thank you. Okay, now we are up to correspondence, and there, if you have your packet with the different correspondence letters, I will read them. This one,
I just have the rare plant and Christopher May, maybe,
right?
and Newfane Garden Club. Okay.
And then there's one that just came in, and that is from Nancy Reese. Do you have that one?
No, I don't.
I didn't make copies of that one other than the one that I gave you, Marion.
Oh, okay.
So that should be copied for all of us
Yeah, she'll give you copies.
and in for the record.
Yeah, it's going to be in the record. Okay, Winetta, this one about seeking permission for rare plant survey.
Yes.
I personally find it difficult to read it. It's very light and small print. Is there anybody who's willing to read this letter?
I take my glasses off. I can read it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, so seeking permission for rare plant survey from Hannah Hartman to Town Clerk of Newfane. Hello, Miss Hasselbach. On behalf of the Native Plant Trust, formerly New England Wildflower Society, we'd like to request permission to conduct a brief survey for a rare plant called Northern Tuberculode bog orchid, plant Athria favia, on property owned by the town of Newfane near River Road on the banks of West River. Our field methods, including counting plants, measuring population area, and taking notes on ecological habitat characteristics. Surveyors may also take photographs of plants and habitat. The information from the visit will be shared with the Natural Heritage Database to update their records of plant populations. We hope the information gathered will help us better understand the biology of the species and ultimately develop better conservation strategies. We can contact you on the dates we plan to be out on the property, and a report of our findings will be sent to you at the end of the year. The Natural Heritage Program in your state maintains detailed information regarding population location, species biology, conservation status, and beneficial management practices for species listed as threatened, endangered, or of special concern. If you'd like more specific information about the populations located on your property, please contact your state Natural Heritage Program. If you could respond with 1, your permission for us to send volunteers, 2, your preference for being contacted before the survey, and 3, if and how you would like a report sent at the end of the season, that would be great. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. We look forward to your response and thank you. Hannah Hartman Everett, Conservation Intern from the Native Plant Trust in Framingham, Massachusetts. And what they do is conserving and promoting New England's native plants to ensure healthy, biologically diverse landscapes.
Thanks for reading that, Shelley.
I think that's great. I think the only question I would have is if they have insurance to be on the property. So if something were to happen, they had their own insurance.
And also, where are they going on the property? It's by the town, owned by the town of Newfane near River Road. So where is that?
If you look to the next pages,
Oh,
I've attached a screenshot of the parcel that we're looking to talk about. I spoke with Doris, the lister, and she claims it's a no man's land. It should have been added to some of the other properties adjoining Sawmill Road, but when they did a subdivision, it was not included.
So it's the northern part of River Road?
Yes.
Okay.
It's above Cannoli, but at the beginning of Sawmill, out to the end of where the Green Iron Bridge is.
Oh, okay.
So it's right along the river,
Yes.
and that's town of Newfane property, I guess?
According to the listers, it was not added to the subdivisions of the parcels.
So we might need to let the property owners, there's 3 houses out there, let them know that there might be people on the banks of the river.
I think water banks of the river are public domain as long as they're in the water or on the bank.
I think the water is, but not the bank. Water is public.
Some people think that that's their property.
Yeah.
Whether it is or it isn't, some people think that it's their property. So it's nice to let people know if something's going to be happening but I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Good turn.
Just need to figure out whose land it is and notify them. So I make a motion that we follow up with this letter. Have Juanetta follow up with the letter and see if we can identify the properties and have them be able to do their research.
And also ask if they have their own insurance policy.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay.
And then find out a date when they're going to want to do this.
Yeah,
What were those 3 questions? It was 1, your permission for us to send volunteers. 2, your preference for being contacted before the survey. And if and how you would like a report sent at the end of the season. So I think our permission is to figure out, we would allow the permission if the property is identified as public property. Otherwise, I don't know, do we go ahead and contact the owners of that property?
Like the abutting landowners?
Or would they have to do that?
I would think they would have to contact the landowners if it's private property. If it's our property and we give them permission, that's fine. But if it becomes private property, they need to contact the landowners.
Right. And then preference for being contacted before the survey. That's, I guess, we definitely want that. And if you would like a report sent, definitely send a report if they have to.
Yep. Okay, any further discussion about that? So the next letter we have is a letter to the Select Board from Chris Mays. And he wrote to Annetta that he has attached a letter to the Select Board after getting guidance from the zoning administrator. And that letter says, does everybody have a copy of that letter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It says, to the Select Board, the natural slope of a few parcels of land in our neighborhood on Dover Road is slanted and goes past our neighbor's house at 273 Dover Road. Since our neighbor has owned the property, he has built a barn on one part of his land and is planning to build banks, which would impede water flow and cause water buildups on our land. I believe our riparian rights are being violated because our neighbor is impeding the natural water flow. We invite you to visit our land whenever it is convenient. Thank you, Erin Robinson and Chris Mays from 275 Dover Road, Williamsville. And Juanetta, did we just talk about the fact that maybe Jay would be involved with this?
Yes, it was recommended that we should have the road foreman take a look at the property to see if there was any damage or potential damage for our right-of-way or our road access.
Well, wouldn't this normally be handled by lawyers if they're having an issue? Wouldn't they have to
If
hire a lawyer? Yes.
Hey? Jay?
Yeah, I did go over and look at it. It doesn't affect the road drainage in any way. The drainage has run behind those properties for years. And I assume that's a thing between the landowners. I don't know. I know it's against the law to impede the water to adversely affect your neighbor's property. But I think, I'm not sure that the town has to be in the middle of it. I think it's probably up to them to work it out between themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a civil matter?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you're right, Jay, with that.
Thank you for going out there and looking at it.
Yeah, really. So Juanetta, maybe you can write a letter back to Chris Hayes saying that it was discussed, his issue was discussed at Select Board, and it is recommended that because it's between he and his neighbor, that they really should be working it out on their own. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Next letter. This letter is written by Alice Friedman, corresponding secretary for the Newfane Garden Club, and it's dated May 8th, 2020. To the Newfane Select Board, it is with great reluctance and regret that I write to let you know that the members of the Newfane Garden Club are no longer able to keep the upkeep on the flower gardens in front yard of the town office building. Our membership grows older and sparser, with increasingly limitations on our physical abilities. We hope that you are able to find younger persons who would like to continue the garden's care, or perhaps hire a professional gardener or landscape care firm. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, Alice Freeman, corresponding secretary of the Garden Club.
Aw.
And personally, I want to say thank you very much to all the members of the Garden Club. They have been working diligently for many years to make the town hall look very attractive on the front, at the front of the building. And yes, unfortunately, just some of us are getting older and can't do that kind of work anymore. So perhaps we know of people who are interested. If not, and if we have the funds, we might choose to hire somebody. Shelley, are you raising a hand or just?
No, I'm not raising my hand. I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. So does anybody have any idea of somebody? Angela?
I think now that it's been publicly known and everybody who watches and sees, if there's somebody that would be willing to donate a portion of their time to the town and want to plant some flowers or take care of it, or anybody who works at the town hall, or any one of us that wanted to put in a few minutes. I mean, it's great to beautify the front of the building.
Yeah,
And they have done an amazing job for so many years.
they have, absolutely. And we thank them very much.
Yes,
And,
it's a great group.
yeah.
Yes.
So I would suggest that if people, anybody who's interested, you can come to town hall, excuse me,
Call Juanetta.
or call Winetta, or call Carol, the town clerk, and we all would welcome you to come into the building and offer your services if you so choose to. And in the meantime, thank you again to Alice Freeman and all the members of the current Garden Club.
Because they just donated all of their time to do it, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So wonderful.
Okay. The next letter is from Nancy Ann Reese. Is that how you pronounce it? Reese?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Reese. Okay. This is to the written on May 12th, and you didn't receive this until today. Is that correct, Juanetta?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we should get copies of it, please.
Yes, we said. You asked that, and I said she'll get copies for you. To the Newfane Select Board from the Peter W. Reese family, Nancy Ann Reese, to Christopher Williams. I mean, not to, I'm sorry. It says Christopher Williams, excuse me. Okay, my description of this person would be divisive, manipulative, petty, jealous, harmful, control monger. The negativity and harm he has caused on our family goes back 30 years when we were remodeling our home at 65 Baker Brook Road. We were using his brother-in-law to help us and had to let him go because he was being dishonest. After this, we started getting stop work orders generated by overdue complaints.
Yeah.
By Christopher Williams. I had all the paperwork from the lawyers and meetings we were vindicated as there was never any reason for this to happen. And it was so very unjust. However, he has continued through the years to cause us much harm as possible. One more recent, very harmful example was the intimidation of people working on our riverbanks. After Hurricane Irene, our home was on the endangered list, and due to the devastation, chaos, and mistakes made afterwards concerning the management of the assistance given by the towns and agencies involved, we still have problems. We worked on permits for 4 years. The permits were posted, and his uncalled for interference caused confusion, upset, poor work, and loss of money. Again, so unjust. I would be of our opinion that Chris Williams should not be involved in any aspect of town business, as he is a liability and harmful to its residents. A second homeowner who had hired him to do work for them has expressed to me that he was expensive, didn't do an adequate job, and they would like to let him go, but they were afraid of retaliation through the town or otherwise. As someone who has experienced upset, negativity, tragedy, and monetary loss over the 30-year period of time, unfortunately, I have to admit to them that their concerns could indeed be valid. That's the end of the letter. Okay, so we have read all the correspondence, and
So no discussion about the letter?
do you have something you'd like to say?
It's a pretty heartfelt letter, I'd say. And I think it's disconcerting about Christopher Williams.
Okay, any other comments? Okay. So we read all the correspondence, and we are up to pay orders, which means that we're going to have a few of us gather at town hall now. So it would be Angela and myself doing the pay orders, and Angela and myself and Shelley coming together to sign the two pieces of paper, one for Todd to continue being fire warden, and the second one was what? I already forgot.
The COVID-19 safety and
Thank
health
you.
work plan.
Thank you so much. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening, everybody.
I guess I'll second it.
We don't need a second for adjournment. Okay. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Melissa, Winetta, Angela, Jay, Shelley. Have a good evening. We'll see some of you in a few minutes, and the others have a peaceful night at home.
Bye.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Marion. You too.
Thank you.